Okay, so welcome to Black Belt Interviews with me, Master David Hodgson. I'm delighted and very pleased to say I'm joined today by Grandmaster Willy van der Mortel from Holland. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
Yes, as I say, really pleased to be speaking to you. This is a huge honour for me. Very grateful for your time, and I'm a big fan of all your accomplishments and the way you train, and so I do watch the drills. I very much like the drills, and I share them with my team, and very much enjoy that. And maybe one day we'll have someone that can come up to the Dutch Open.
Yeah.
Really well.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Unfortunately, last year was not possible, but hopefully everything changed, and in the future we can organize it again.
Yeah. It's a big tournament on the circuit. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, that's true. We start small, but in the years we do it already. First, another name. We call it the Open Brabant, and later I get requests from other countries to change the name, so we call it the Open Dutch. And from there on, yeah, we were growing, and thanks to all the people who come, because the level became higher and higher. And yeah, that was also the idea of the tournament.
Yeah, fantastic.
Not only the members, but the numbers, but more the quality.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, I've seen some of the clips on YouTube and that, and yeah, really good, great.
Yeah.
And it's an open, sir, is it? Is that open to all Taekwondo practitioners?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, that was my idea, because I said always before we had one Taekwondo, I have a lot of friends also in other groups. And for me, it's still the same. They're still the same friends.
Yes, absolutely.
Because on the end, I think on the top they choose this dividing of ITFs and not the clubs.
Yes.
So I invite them, and I have every year there are people from other organizations, and we never had a problem with that. So perfect.
Fantastic. Yeah. What a great place to come to and participate together, regardless.
Yeah.
Do your best, and
yes,
the best people win.
Yeah, and I think that's also nice, because if you know as a top competitor that there is another federation also a good competitor.
Yes.
Want to meet them.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, sir, thank you. What I tend to do, if that's okay, we find out how the Grandmasters began and where it was, and the years. I understand 1976 is the year you began, sir.
Yeah. Then I started Taekwondo, on the age of 16.
Okay.
Yeah, if you look to these days, most of my students under 16.
Yes, me too. Yeah.
So you can see in the years a lot of things changed, but yeah, I started at 16, and it was because a friend of mine, he started with Taekwondo. I was going with him, and I was thinking, oh, that's interesting. Then I asked my parents at home. My mother said right away no.
Right. Okay.
So she was thinking that it is too dangerous, that you're going to use this on the street, and that she got involved in a lot of fights and blah blah blah. So so I have to wait still 1 year before she allowed me to go on, because then on my birthday my mother said, okay, what you want? I say, I want do Taekwondo.
Yeah.
And then finally she said, okay, she said yes, and so then I could start. Yeah, it was okay. And that at these days Taekwondo was a little bit different, but I mean, for example, at that time there was still no equipment. Sparring was without equipment. Yeah, and also the trainings. Yeah. Sometimes I tell it still in my gym, because now if you do some basic drills, they expect after 10 times that you come with another one.
Yes.
And I know when I was training, you go up and down in the hall with punching a high, low block and all these kind of things. And it was exactly every day, it was the same.
Right, right.
And we did it for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And nobody was complaining. Sometimes you was looking to each other, but okay, you go. And still, I still believe in this basics.
Yeah,
like, it's the same what I do in all classes or training the national team. For me, I still come back to the basics. From when the fundament is good, it's much easier to build on from there.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so that was in the beginning. Yeah, and yeah, tournaments at that time, there were not too much tournaments, but yeah, I still thinking with good memories back on that period.
Yeah, yeah.
Because for example, one of the things was on the Friday evening. For example, my instructor, he left. We had 2-hour trainings, and after 1 hour he left. And
Okay.
then we did sparring, and then we took all off the top.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then we were hitting each other.
Okay.
And then later you're under the shower, and then you could say, that's red point that you got.
You see where the points were. Yeah.
Yes, like that, and that's.
Brilliant. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was not that it happened so much, but I mean, it was the atmosphere, and yeah.
It was of the
really
time.
nice. Yeah.
That's how it was, isn't it? I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So very kind of basic training, hard training.
Yeah.
And then you say the sparring, and then the conditioning. So we still do these things, but in different methods now, I guess.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. But do you know also? I think we have now at the moment we have much more knowledge about trainings and all kind of things. In the past, it was more hours was better.
Yes, yes.
That's not anymore.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
A lot of things. Yeah, it's. I see myself how I was teaching in the beginning in Slovenia and how I teach now. For example, in Norway, it's nearly the opposite. So I mean, yeah. We learn a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Fast and what is, yeah.
But sports science comes in, psychology,
yeah,
nutrition.
Yes.
Yeah, strength conditioning.
Yes, that's true. But at these days, it was only hard training, and I remember with Master van der Heuvel, he was in the same gym as me. We run before training from our place to the other place.
Okay.
Then we train and we run back.
Yeah,
and that was I think 6-7K to run, training and run back. If I ask this now on my students, nobody will do it.
No.
No. So,
was that just a normal club? Was that the normal club that was there? That wasn't special training. That was just normal club night, or to run to run from one gym to the other.
Yeah.
Was that just your normal club night? Was it?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It wasn't a special squad thing.
No.
It's just normal. So
yes.
If you wanted to train, you had to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did that. So a lot of times we go also by bicycle, but I mean, we were with 3 people. We came from that town, and yeah. Sometimes we said, okay, this week we go to run, and then we were running.
Right.
Yeah, that was that was great. Mm-hmm.
And the stretching back then, did you stretch? Was it?
Yeah, the way. That time also the stretching. It was different way of stretching as we do now. I think you know that also from your instructors. I mean, but with every class there was stretching.
Yeah.
And I see, for example, now in my classes at the moment, okay, with the kids I do every class, but with my sparring group, my senior group, I do less stretching.
Yeah.
Because I see it a little bit as their homework.
Yeah, of course.
So, and I give them the responsibility on them. If they want to really get better, And my classes now, for example, all my classes are now only 1 hour.
Yeah.
And in the past, we were training 1.5 till 2 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you have more time to do this kind of things.
Yeah.
And now I keep it more focused on 1 hour, but very intensive.
Yeah.
So, and then, okay, a lot of students of me, they come a little bit earlier. They do the stretching a little bit up front, but some of them, they don't stretch, I know.
Okay.
But okay,
yeah, yeah.
I know for myself, I was not born flexible, and I'm still not that flexible. But all what I got with daily practice.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think everybody will want, if you have a goal and you want to become kick higher and want to become better, then I think you have to do it with this daily.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that
Sure.
don't have to be 45 minutes, but I mean, to repeat it every day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Has to become a routine.
Absolutely, so yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned about your own training and you competing.
Yeah.
16 times national champion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know, when I started, I was 16, and after 5 years, I became black belt. And then, but in the gym where I was training, there was my instructor was not the competition guy. So yeah, we never got that. So I think I got in 82 my first tournament. So that I was already training quite long before I had the first tournament. So and then you see, but I was interested in this tournament. So that was the reason also when after a while I moved place to another gym to get more experience, and to a gym we're more focused on sparring and this kind of things.
Yeah.
And of course, when I came there, the first times they hit me everywhere. You go from that corner to that corner. I remember I came back and I said to my mother, I'm not sure if this is what I want. Yeah. But you know, after a couple of weeks, finally I could make a point.
Okay. Yeah.
Make a score. So okay, and the next time maybe 2 or 3 scores. Yeah. So slowly you get better, and then you start to believe in it. And but I can say in the beginning it was quite hard for me, because if you are a black belt without any sparring experience, then you come to people maybe with blue belts with already a lot of experience.
Right.
So I felt in the beginning I missed really a big part.
Yeah.
And of course, trying to recover that, where I live, for example, in the south of the Netherlands, at that time there were always all-style tournaments.
Yeah. And
we had them. For me, it's easy to it's maybe 30 kilometers to Belgium and 30 kilometers to Germany. So I live in an area where it is quite easily to get that experience. So we traveled quite often, for example, on the Saturday to Germany.
Yeah.
And the Sunday we have a tournament in the Netherlands. So
wow. Yeah. So you kind of caught up.
Yeah.
From missing out, you certainly caught up by being able to travel.
Yes.
And
and that you see also now, for example, you see the whole society changed, because, for example, the Netherlands is quite small.
Yeah.
If I from here, if I travel up, for example, to the place where Grandmaster Bos was living in Amsterdam, that was 260 kilometers.
Wow.
But we were going every weekend up and down. I mean, and now if a tournament is in nearly Amsterdam, my students say, "Oh, that's far," and that's maybe 100 kilometers.
Is it? Yeah.
So you see, also with that, I think every instructor have to do it now at this times. Everything changed, so we cannot expect the same.
Yeah.
From our students as these days.
No, absolutely. I've heard this before. So about grandmasters in the early days traveling long journeys to get to training, like you say. Yeah. On a bus, on a train, however you get there, as you get there, you know. Yeah.
I remember one at this stage. At that time, Grandmaster Bos was in the Netherlands, still the national coach, and I did. We traveled to the middle of the Netherlands. We had on the Sunday I had a national training, and then right away after training I drive back home. Then I put my suitcase in my car and I drove in one time to Madrid because Grandmaster Taekwon-Do that time he gave a seminar there. So I mean, if I think now, maybe at this moment, I think I will not do the same. But at this stage, it was for me like, okay.
Yeah, of course.
If I got the possibility, I did it.
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. But,
so you mentioned some significant names there, sir. Grandmaster Bos.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Park Jung-tae.
Yeah. Yeah. This. Do you know this? For example, Grandmaster Bos. Yeah, I think in every interview of his name is for me also like it's a red line in my Taekwondo career. I always was looking up to him, like, for me, example for a lot of other people, and still.
Yes.
And I was lucky that I met him and that he motivated me, and that I get to have the chance later to work for him, and that we became friends, and yeah. So for me, he's still a big example.
Yeah, totally.
And anyway, how he, in the beginning I was training and I traveled with them with the national team to Canada, to the Intercontinental Cup, and then we was in the plane, and then we said, do you know, you're pretty good, but you will never become in the national team.
All right.
And at that time, it was like I got a knockdown, like shit.
Yeah.
Because in my mind already, I saw things in front of me like, wow, that's also what I want.
Yeah.
But at the moment when he said that, I was really, But from the other side, when I step out of the plane, I switched the button and I promised myself, I'm gonna prove that I can do it.
Yes.
Right away on the Monday when I come home, I put myself a program. I start to diet a little bit because to lose weight. I start properly training. At that time I already had my own gym at home, a big garage with mirrors, with punching ball, and so I make for myself a program. I start. Okay, I'm gonna prove that I will make it.
Wow.
So it took several years, but finally at the national championships, I beat his student that time. That was Master Tapilatu, Wijnand.
Oh yes.
And then nice on that tournament was that he had to give Grandmaster Bos. He gave us the trophies.
Yeah.
And at the moment when he gave me the trophy, then I said to him, "Do you know what you said once to me?" Looked to me like, no, what you mean? You said that I never can become a champion. So now today I said I beat your students. So I think I'm here.
Wow.
And then he was looking like, okay, but I think from there on everything changed.
Yeah.
So that was one big thing what I had with him. And as a coach, we was once traveling at that time to the Open German in Karlsruhe from Grandmaster Taekwon-Do, and we have to go, and I saw the draws, and I have to fight at that time to world champion Jochen Weipart from Germany, and then I said, oh, that guy. And Grandmaster Bos said, I know that guy, but that's a good fighter for you, it's no problem. I was looking to him like, how you mean? Yeah, I see this guy do only this with the front leg, and you have a good front hand, and I will coach you, and you only have to wait, listen to me, and when I say yes, you come in and you score. I was looking at, okay, I still have my doubts, but
yeah.
yeah, we start, and he said he was talking that time. He said, "Wait, yeah, wait, he will come, And then on one moment he shout, "Yes!" And I go for, and I hit the guy, and I score, and I looked at him, and I was like, "Oh, this works!"
Yeah, brilliant.
And then after a couple, so it goes on. I scored 7 times. I won the fight. So after that, I felt like I have really a match with him as a coach.
Yeah.
And yeah, I understand now also as a coach how important it is to have a match with a person who you coach. But that time was for me like, wow. And yeah.
So a coach can really make a difference.
Yes.
To the guy.
Yes.
To the fighter. Yeah. Fantastic.
So and from there on, so if you add a couple of these things with him, then you can see how important can a person for him. For me, he was very important. So I followed in everywhere, and later, luckily enough, I could also invite me to come to Italy.
Yeah.
To work for him there. So that was also a great experience.
Yeah, fantastic. Wonderful stories. So yeah. Some pretty good times for you back then.
Yeah. I don't mean as a competitor this time we traveled to these days there are also a lot of tournaments like that counties meet each other, 3-4 counties. We traveled to Slovenia at that time, Yugoslavia. And we had meetings with Canada, with Italy, with Germany, with Yugoslavia. I mean, these things. And then we traveled. We fought first in Yugoslavia, and then we traveled by bus to Italy, and we had there the same country meetings. So I mean, these things you don't see at the moment now, but I mean. These days you could get in a week time, you got a lot of experience.
Yeah.
I also there already you met people, because also at that time in the team, for example, of Canada, there was Grandmaster Tramrod that time with Paul Germain and Alain Bernier and this kind of fighters. So you mean top class fighters?
Yeah.
Were already there.
Yeah, very much.
That was I still, when you think on it, then you think, wow. Nice memories. Yes.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
So outside of the normal World Championship, European Championship, you still met other countries on a different kind of way, but that gave you experience to the bigger tournaments. And
for example, in the way how I met Thomas Barada, for example, it was during one of these tournaments in Germany, Netherlands, and Yugoslavia. We had this this tournament, and then we fought each other for the first time.
Okay.
And then later on that, we talk, and the friendship came, and then you can see, and that was my first time that I met Thomas. So,
And at that time, was he a world champion, European?
No, at that time he was young. He was a junior.
Okay.
He already he has a lot of talent. He did a lot of reverse turning kicks and back kicks.
Yes.
I think at that time, he did a lot. And
So when did you start working together?
That was okay. We met each other there in Germany, and then we started to talk. And then he said, "Okay, I don't have really a trainer, and in the place where I lived, I had that also not." So we talked. So I invited him to come once to the Netherlands for a couple of days to train together, and there it started. So he came to me, I came to him. So in the beginning, we trained with each other, but we met each other because we fought each other 3 times.
Okay.
Once in Germany, and once in Slovenia, and one thing we had. I won in Germany, and I won in Slovenia. I think he won in Germany, and once we had a draw. So and then he became already better. I think this is a good time to stop.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, after that I he came quite frequently to the Netherlands, and after that I started to work with him, to coach with him, and like that. So
Yeah.
And I also was traveling at that time, frequently to Slovenia to train with them, also with other members of the club.
Yes.
So that's, yeah.
So travel has never been a problem for you, sir. You've traveled many places.
Yeah.
National coach, many places.
Yeah.
And today,
but for the other part, yes.
So you live today. You're in where you live today now is in the Netherlands.
Yeah.
But you'll travel to the places to be the coach.
Yeah. So in the past, also when I was working for Slovenia, I traveled to Slovenia, and when I worked for Italy, that time I lived for 3 years in Italy.
Okay.
And I worked for the federation, and I did there in the weekends. They sent me out to give training somewhere, and during the week I had my trainings at gyms in Rome.
Yes.
I trained with Master Boss, and I was staying with him because I stayed with the family of him, and so we met each other there every day.
Yeah.
But later, when I was going to, when I was working for New Zealand, for example, then I traveled every time up and down, and that was mostly I traveled for 3 weeks to New Zealand.
Yes.
Come back, travel there around, and come back home, and yeah.
Wow.
Because was a little bit further away.
Yeah, it's just a bit.
Yeah, and like now in Norway, from us to Norway is 2 hours flight, so it's not that big.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too bad.
No.
Too much.
Yeah. And then
So you must you experience all these different cultures, different nations.
Yeah.
Do you notice these characteristics in the actual practitioners, or is it Taekwondo all the same wherever you go, sort of thing?
Nah, do you know? As I said, when I started with Slovenia, for example, there we had a way of training, a lot of physically training, because we were thinking that time that was important. Train 3 times a day, and it must be hard, it must be long, it must be.
Yeah.
Stop. That word was not existing, and but still, I see the basic what we make there. I still see it in the way how Thomas trained now, and the other people who was that time in the national team. The clubs what they open now, they have still of course they changed, but the basic things is still there.
Yeah.
And I think in the way of hard training, I think is good to build a certain of character. What you need if you want to achieve something. So, but I mean, of course it changed. When you look to Slovenia, it's small. When I'm now at that moment of when I was in New Zealand, also there, people have to travel to come to national trainings. Now in Norway, everybody is flying into Trondheim.
Right, yeah, of course.
So it's not that easy. So you have to plan much more, and we train less together in Norway, for example, but they have the regional trainings, and we try to, the regional trainers, they like to do the same things as what the national trainers do, so they have to follow up these things.
Yeah.
So it's another way of training, and another country with other mentality gives also, you have to adapt a little bit, and you cannot do everywhere the same.
Okay. Yeah.
I like in Norway, for example, I see it. They're more family people, and they come more closer to the people what we have here in the Netherlands.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think in the NTN in Norway, still more important is not only the results, because Grandmaster Foundation also, he said, I'm not really care about the results. More important is that the people are happy and that we try. When I started there in Norway, he said, my job is to increase the level nationwide.
Yeah.
So the bottom level, we have to step there with, okay, they have over 10,000 participants. So for sure, if we raise the level, there will come some good people who will come above.
Yes, yes.
So, and that was a different. When I started in Slovenia, I started first only in the gym of Thomas Bravada. And the national team was first only the team of Thomas Bravada. But later on, you saw also other clubs in Slovenia. And on the end, maybe the national team were 8 clubs. And the national team, in my opinion, it must be like Fred, and it must be more. But of course, if you have one strong club, then it's hard for the other clubs to become also good and to get your spot. So this competition, between each other, that raise also the level.
Yeah. So you mentioned character.
Yeah.
Is that part of your plan when you come into a new team to develop character?
Yes. Yeah. Of course. As I said, I never ask the same. For example, in Norway, what I was asking in Slovenia.
Okay.
And also in my own club, I ask maybe more.
Yes.
Because I know how the people are there and what are the goals of the federation in Norway. So I step in with other things. Maybe in the beginning I was a little bit too they said, okay, do it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I learn also every time when you come to another country, you learn things, and if you listen to people, but you know by yourself, even every kids class, still you learn.
Yes, of course.
Sometimes they ask you some things, or sometimes they react, and that's also nice from teaching. If people ask you or they talk, or you see already on the faces, oh, okay, this was too much, or they don't understand, and that's what I really like on teaching Taekwondo.
Yeah.
So, but in fact, I try really to look to the place where I come. It's the same when I give seminars. The first I do an exercise, look how they react, feel a little bit the atmosphere, and from there on you step. And sometimes you make your program, and you have to go from plan A to plan B, or maybe to plan C. But I mean, that's the same in sparring. You can have a plan, but if the opponents react different, you must be able to change. And that's one of the things I think still a lot of competitors have problems with that. If it works like they want, it works. But if it don't work like they want, then you can see the difference between a good competitor and a top competitor.
Yeah. So a top competitor now can do more than one thing.
Yes.
Not just the forward person or the counter. Mixture.
Yeah. What you said?
I mean, at one time maybe there was someone that always goes forwards.
Yeah.
Never back, and then sometimes there's always someone that waits.
Yeah.
But now you have to be. You can do both, huh?
Yeah. This, sometimes even if you're a good counter fighter, but if the other one is leading, you have to do something.
Yes.
Because some people don't attack anymore.
Yeah.
So they wait because they are a good counter fighter. And if they make the first cross, then I had the same with, for example, with Thomas. For him, it was very difficult to fight, for example, with left in the front. Still, and we were pushing with it. We did always exercise, and I do the same now. We do always left, right. But still, it was always right. Still, he got once he got a knee injury. So then he changed position. So at the moment when he got the knee injury, there he learned really to fight also with his left leg.
Okay, yeah.
And now, for example, in a lot of kicks from him, left and right, there's no difference anymore. And he's now also he's more, when I see him sparring or when it's doing drills or this, he can change left, right. Doesn't matter. Now you don't think on it anymore. But in the past, I know sometimes when he saw the draw, and you know, oh shit, this guy, and then he came to me, he said, he's fighting left. I say, yes, so yeah, then you can see if you're thinking that you cannot fight these people, then it starts there.
Yeah.
And then you have already problems.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
So yeah, you see that also with, so now also, of course, everybody has a favorite. But I mean, if your favorite is the right leg, you must be able to do some techniques with left.
Yeah.
And even if you don't, even already with changing position and faking and do some things, it's already different if you stay only with right or left in the front. So you must play a game, let the other think that you also can do other things.
Yes.
So yeah, I think now trainers, yeah, they have much more knowledge, and maybe also with the internet, it's much easier to see people, to know what they do. I know when I was coaching of Thomas, I know I was traveling to tournaments in Ireland and in England. Yeah. Only I traveled there with my camera, only there to observe and to recording the opponents of Thomas.
Okay. Yeah.
Because my goal was to prepare him. And some people were saying, yeah, you're crazy to travel to make that expenses and this. But for me, it was also like, yeah, I want to be prepared. So I want to know what they did. And I want to prepare Thomas that time for, yeah, as good as I could. I felt that's my job.
Yeah. So with your collaboration with Thomas, for people that don't know, what titles did he achieve with your help?
Yeah, well, when I started to work with him, in the beginning, he not became world champion. That was the goal. Yeah. Okay, he got a lot of European titles, but the world title took a while. And yeah, I must say, after the first time when he got it in 1999 in Argentina, then it was like, then I think a lot of pressure out of his shoulder. And personally, I think when he was on the World Championships in St. Petersburg, maybe he was even better. Only he was at that time mental still not on the place what you need to become world champion. But physically, I think he was maybe in St. Petersburg, maybe on his best. Wow. But yeah, in Argentina, that time we did it already quite professional. We trained even, we changed training. We also he was always also quite difficult to get to make the weight. So we changed it there. We had, for example, he never eat at home. We had a woman, she was like, he looked to his food. Yeah. And you know, if a person say you have to eat this, this, and this, but if you're at home, you eat this, this, and this. Yeah. At that time, we decided that he eats, that she was cooking for him. So every lunch and then you have to do by her at home. And if I was there, we were going together with her. And even when we were traveling to Argentina, we took her and the husband, we took them with us to Argentina to cook there.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, really. That he. Wow. So yeah, I think not many people did that.
That's very strict now. Disciplined, yeah.
Yeah, but also, for example, in Argentina, we took Thomas paid for 2 people of the press, paid everything.
Right.
The tickets, hotels, food, everything, to took them to Argentina to make a report of the whole way to the World Championships.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, Thomas is quite clever, and he saw already how it works to become if you are
Well known.
Become somebody and become a world champion, and what can it do in your country, and how important he was already that time in Slovenia. And I think, he has always a good relationship with the press, and that helps him with everything what he did, and even now with his job with the Olympic Committee.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how important it is to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Besides yourself, to get recognition.
Yeah. And also at that time in Argentina, we traveled earlier than the most teams to Argentina. We don't want to arrive on the last moment. We were there to get to acclimate with the conditions there. Yeah, at that time also, for example, we had was also nice. Miss Julia Cross that time. She was traveling with us in the Netherlands. And she traveled also to Argentina, and also that time when we traveled we trained with the Slovenian team. Also, she was already there, trained with us, and it was great. And it was a great tournament there. And I think when he got his first world title there, and I think there he made really a step, also mental.
Yeah.
And later on, when he became world champion in Deurne, the last time that the ITF was won, I think that was I think still he's proud of that he became also there world champion. But we have one ITF with all at that time with the North Koreans there.
Yeah,
you know, they were strong, and that was a high level tournament. And when you become their world champion, then you know, I'm the best. And I think in these days now, maybe some people, doesn't matter of what kind of federation, if you became world champion, it's still not the same, because you know there's another world champion, there's another world champion. And that's, I think, as a competitor, now as a coach, I'm thinking not so much about it, but I know as a competitor, I know that there's somebody else.
Yeah, at that level.
Yeah.
You'd like to know.
Yeah.
Whether you are the best.
Yeah.
And
that's the same a little bit with kickboxing. What Thomas starts at that time. I know that I make the contact, for example, with top 10. The top 10 as these days was not involved in Taekwondo.
Okay.
But in Waco already it exists. So Thomas, want to become better, and we need a sponsor. So I contacted Peter Krukenhauser, and I said, okay, I have a fighter with these results, and blah blah blah, and and then we traveled to Italy to a tournament, European Championships, and then Thomas get in the, I think it was the semi-final. He get at the moment he get injured on his toe, and they said, this is. I said, Thomas, I said, listen, now this tournament is very important to get a sponsor. Yes, I know. So you have to go on. Doesn't matter how. You have to get this title we need. And I think the relation what I had with Thomas as these days, and even now, I mean, I think I will never get with the person I could see as a coach and fighter how close you are.
Yeah.
And also how sometimes maybe also dangerous, how far you can bring him and let him things do what is maybe not medical wise, maybe not always good. Yeah,
of course.
But at that time, okay, and then he has to go in the final against Germany. Okay, the sponsor was there looking to us, and he had a broken toe. And he said, oh, it's difficult to say, don't think on it, we have to do it. And then, okay, he was in the fight. And then after one round, first he was leading, then he fell back. In the break, he said, oh, I cannot really, I cannot, my toe. And I hit him once and I said, okay, now the second round, you go, you kill this guy, doesn't matter. You don't think on your feet, you do it. And then he did it. He stepped in the ring. And he started to kick with that leg. He kicked with this broken toe, the other guy to his face everywhere. And when the fight was over, then later the German came to us and he asked Thomas, what happens with you in the second round? And yeah, okay, we explained it. And from there on, for example, that was the first sponsor, Top 10. Yeah, and Thomas and even we are still very close with Krukenhauser. And from there on, later on, we can see also Top 10 games also in ITF. And I think at the moment, Top 10 is an important partner of the ITF community. It's also nice to have these small things, what maybe nearly nobody knows anymore. So that you know for yourself, okay, we were starting with that. And we did also with that, we did something for ITF Taekwondo.
Absolutely, sir. Yeah, because like Top 10 is well known, isn't it? The ITF world and recognized, but like you said, it did start somewhere. It was in that second round with Thomas with his foot that he had to win. And you as the coach, being so close, you could ask for that. You could ask for that, and he would respond.
And we had it. This I had once more time. Also in Waco kickboxing, we were in Istanbul, also European Championships, and you have to fight there. And then when the tournament starts, we heard that the Norway virus, that you get diarrhea, was in some of the hotels, and some people also in our hotel got it. And you saw it in the tournament. Some people were out of competition. But okay, we eat there also in the hotel. We drink there. So finally, during the tournament, also Thomas got it.
Really?
And a lot of some countries had nearly nobody over. And then I remember the thing that he was in the evening. We came back after I think the first or second day, came to the room, and then I was taking the shower. I came back of the shower, and he was shaking on bed like he has fever and everything. So he ran up and down to the toilet the whole night. And the next day was semi-finals.
Really?
So he said, "Oh, I don't know. I think." I said, "Yes, you will do." He said, "Oh, I don't know. I said, "You will do." And then he said in the morning, he said, "Oh, I don't think I can really. I can." He said, "Yeah." I said, "What do you think? We traveled to Istanbul." I said, "I spent all the time to here, and now we are in the semi-final, and now you say to me that you don't can?" And he said, "Yeah, I think not." So, and I walk around, I was angry, and it was nearly time to take the taxi to go to the hall. And then I saw that he prepare his bag, and he go to the hall.
Wow.
But of course, he was not. He could not eat. He couldn't drink. Every time he have to go to the toilet. We came in the hall, and there was an Ocean team, has really a medical team with him. So, and I told him the situation. So they put him on the infuse. He was laying on bed, and then just before he has to go to fight, infuse out, equipment on, to the square. Yeah, and he make it to the final. Next day, the final, same things. Before on the infuse. If you later think on it, even as a coach, then you think, was that clever?
Yeah, I see.
I think at this moment, I will never do it again.
No.
But at that moment, everything was still different. And
yeah, of course.
yeah, also he became then he fought in light and in full. And I think in light he became European champion, in full became second. But still, yeah, this kind of things you never forget. And I tell it like now, I tell it in the most when I give seminars, for example.
Yeah.
And I don't tell it because that people have to do this, but more that you're also a body and a mental people can do a lot. If I see now in my gym, for example, if you're the youngsters, one of the first words what they say, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
I say, you think that you don't can, but you can.
Yeah, of course.
I try to motivate my kids for, okay, maybe you cannot do it now, but keep trying. And it's easy to say right away, I cannot do this.
Yeah.
And yeah. So I try during seminars as well, for example, also to I try to get a lot of things, what my experience, what I got with mostly with top athletes, also with Julia Cross, for example.
Yes.
If we give a seminar and I tell the trainings what I did with her and the time that we had together and what happens, and I mean, if you can, sometimes you can bring that forward in a seminar and everybody knows Julia Cross, you tell the stories of her, then I think it's much easier that they feel, okay, if she can do it, maybe also I can do it.
Yeah.
So try to make the connections between top competitors and myself to the future top competitors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, so you've worked with some top people, haven't you? Like you say.
Yeah.
Master Barada.
Yeah.
Julia Cross. Achieved so much, sir. Fantastic results. And your new crop of champions, you have those?
What is it?
The new champions that you're working with currently?
Yeah, do you know, for example, the last one in Norway, what for me was really a person who I saw the first time. That is this the guy to 71, Magomed Narudinov from Norway. When I saw him the first time, I had right away, I said to the other coaches, he become a good one.
Yeah.
And okay, and this guy, we had some problems with him because he was like, how you say it? In the beginning, he was much difficult, not easy to control. He steps a lot of times over the line.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, I saw the quality what he had. If somebody can guide him on that path where we want to go, he has a lot of things what maybe other people don't have.
Right.
It's natural things what you think, yeah, okay. So I remember at that time in Norway, some of the other coaches and also maybe the boss said, okay, no, maybe it's better to don't take him. But I said, okay, now I want to take him because I believe in him. And I know already that he will listen to me. So I took it like, don't care about him. I will have an eye on him and try to keep him in that line together with the coach of his club. And and physically he had something what you need, what top competitors need.
Yeah.
And, so it was very nice to see him to become also world champion.
Wow.
And I mean, if you see a person from the first time and in a quite short term, you see him become European and world champion, then you think, okay, yes, I saw it right.
Yeah. So what is it you
see,
sir? What do you see in someone that you can tell? Is it?
No, he had that time. He had this killer instinct. He has acceleration. He has power. He has movement. Without really teaching, already you see he has these things.
Yeah.
And of course, maybe technical wise, he was in the beginning not that good, but after some time, when he became better, he was to start to look into himself. He started to look to every competitor. If I ask him now, for example, that competition on the Euros, that fighter from Ireland, what do you do? Then he can say what this guy do, because it's not only. Also, he was very involved in looking to videos and observe people and what they do and what kind. So it's there you can see people. Sometimes people they only spar and they do fights, but they to become a champion you need more.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think he was one of the person that really that I say he has these qualities.
So if you do have someone like that in your school, somebody might have somebody similar. What's the steps to sort of improve them?
Yeah. You try to begin the areas maybe where they are good to become still better.
Yeah.
And for me, I think as a coach, all the years what I coach now, I see the most to learn people. Physically things is quite easy. It's more easily. But to teach them things here, that's more hard.
Okay.
And I think international, I think there are a lot of people who have good good qualities of fighters, but the difference between technical wise and how you can handle these fights, mental.
Yeah.
How you can handle the pressure from your club, maybe from your at home, and that's an area what I think was very interesting.
Yeah, very much.
And do you know the way how I was going always was not that I get knowledge about it. The knowledge what I get is from experience.
Yes.
And I mean, I think maybe in these days, there are people who have the knowledge about it, how you can do things maybe easier, or that you already, you can see, okay, this is maybe to learn, this is maybe not to learn.
Yeah.
And I had one thing, for example, I had once contact, I think last year, not 2 years ago, maybe after the World Championships in Germany, I had contact with Master Scott Downey.
Oh yes, yeah.
Of Canada, because I know he, for his job, he do other things. So I had some questions about my son, for example, some things that I was thinking maybe here and how I can change this, or is there a possibility? So I'm always open to learn new things. But that's the hardest part.
Okay.
I think
affecting the mental. Ability, mental ability,
yeah. And I think also this mental thing, it's we can want something, but also the person with who you work, that person must be open for that.
Yeah.
And that you see already also with normal coaching, with one person, you have right away a click, and if you say something, that he's listening.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, they think, okay, I know this is not new, and think different.
Yeah.
And that's different in coaching too.
Yeah. So in coaching, you're always kind of getting feedback from the competitor.
Yeah, I think that's important to get feedback. And but sometimes a competitor, I see, especially when I'm in other countries, they look maybe a little bit up to you. It's the same now with a high degree. Maybe sometimes it's that they think, okay, but he's a grandmaster. I say nothing. And that's why I try to, when I'm in Norway, I'm one of them. I'm not a grandmaster. I behave myself the same like them, and I really don't care about what they tell, but I try to make the difference so small as this, so that I'm open if there's something. I try to get questions.
Yes,
answers. I get it from them. So then when I coach them, then they know we are on the same level.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, that's what I want, because if they tell me what they think, then I can do something with it. Then I can help them. If they don't say it, then it's difficult. Then we have maybe not the same thoughts.
Yes, yes. That's interesting. So yeah, what you have to do to become a better coach is to sort of come down to their level, improve the communication.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Fantastic. So thanks so much for sharing so much with me, Grandmaster. I would like to ask you about General Che and whether you had experiences with him and what they were like. And
I think at this moment, for example, when I'm in Norway, the NTN group, they were for a long time, they were not a member of the ITF.
Okay, yeah.
They were by the global organization, for example.
Oh, yes, yes.
When I talk now with my colleagues, coaches, sometimes during the chapters when we talk about ITF and about the general, and some of the coaches always, I have seminars then with Taekwon-Do and with them and them, but I never did a seminar with the general. So the idea what they have of the general is only from what they read, what they hear, and they never saw him alive. And I mean, I'm still fortunate, I think, that we are that I have the possibility to have quite a lot of seminars with them.
Yes, yes.
And that the words what he was saying in his teaching, they are still here. And I mean, you can tell to somebody, but it's different. Especially he was there, and you're already, when he came in, he was small from height, but when he came in with his posture and he walks like a general, then you could see it, there was somebody coming inside. That feeling is difficult to describe, but if you felt that, that feeling you will never forget.
Yeah.
At once, it was for me also a special thing. We had an ISC was in Chicago.
Okay, yeah.
And I was there, and after the first day, he said to some people, he said, "This evening you have to come to my room." And we looked at each other like, shit, what happens? Why we have to come to his room? Is something wrong or something?
Yes, yeah.
So we were talking to each other, what you think it will be? What you think? Nobody knows, nobody has a clue. So in the evening, we come to his room. There was one big chair. General Che was sitting there. We came, I think, with maybe 8, 9 people. We came inside. And then he said, "Sit down." So we have to sit on the floor in a half circle.
Yes.
He had the TV on. And he said, "I'm going to show you a video." And it was a video with 2 demos, and there was one demo. I think it was a demo from United States team, and we looked to the demo. And demo was good, it was nice. Okay, and then he said, "Okay, now we look to this demo, and this is Taekwondo," he said.
Okay, yes.
And that was the team of North Korea, and of course we know they had a super team when they do demos, very spectacular things. And so we were looking, and of course it was very good. And then we were thinking, okay, but then he said, "Oh, okay," and he repeated later once more. Okay, this was a demo, and this is Taekwondo.
Okay.
And he don't say really more. And that was the message, I think, what you want to give us. If you're going to teach, you have to teach this.
Yeah.
But I mean, sitting in that room with then maybe 9-10 people sitting in a half circle on the floor with the general in his chair. It's a special thing. I think.
Yeah.
Happy to have the chance to do that with him.
Yeah, fantastic.
And yes, I'd just say sometimes once I was with Grandmaster Boss. We traveled to, because Grandmaster Boss was involved that time to do the rules and for competitions and these things. And Grandmaster Boss make changes in that.
I remember this.
So we traveled. Then we traveled. I remember from Rome. We traveled by train to Vienna to present. Grandmaster Boss wanted to present the new rules.
Yes.
And in the train we came there. First we have to wait till when Grandmaster can come in, and then he came in, gave him the rules. The general look. He did a couple of pages like this. Take the rules, put it to the side. I say, okay, you can go.
Okay.
So we step in the train, travel back. So, I mean, sometimes he could also react.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, for sure he had his reason for that. But at that time, I think we all don't understand that, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, nice things. I did once my grading there in Austria for him.
Oh, yes.
And then later on, he invited us to go also to the restaurant.
Oh, wow.
There were other Koreans, also the North Koreans who was in Austria in the office. And I mean, then Grandmaster McCallum was there, Grandmaster Boss, and then the stories what you hear then. At that time I was, I think, 5th degree or something, and then you look to them up and the stories what they tell and how they that was already what you feel, and what the memory what you get from them, you take your whole life with you. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. And it's the same with the ISCs what he did. I mean, still some words what he said that time, I still use. I mean, and they're still there. I think at that time when he was teaching, we don't understand that really what he want to tell already that time. And later on, after years and years, I think when I talk for myself, I understand now sometimes when he want to tell me already that time.
Yeah.
And that's took time.
He was ahead of things. Is that what you think? Yeah. He was ahead of what people could actually understand at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember the ISC, for example, in Hungary, in Budapest. I recorded that with my camera, and still sometimes when I look to parts of it, and I think, yeah, that's true. Already that time he say it, and that you.
Yeah, I've heard this before.
Yeah.
But some things he explained easier to be understand now. With more knowledge people have.
Yeah. So I'm lucky. I think that I have quite a lot of ISCs with him.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it was like I was in Chicago, and away 1 week later he gave a seminar in Austria, and I travel also to Austria. I mean, was nice. And in Austria, that was a smaller ISC with less people, so you get more attention. Like in Budapest was a big ISC with a lot of people. So, especially the smaller ones, you feel there's more connection and But that's the same now with the ISCs now, for example. Sometimes they are so big.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a pity.
Yeah.
But I understand that it's organization-wise, it's also not easy. But I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So I interviewed someone recently who interviewed General Che, and one of his questions to General Che was, "What is Taekwondo?" And his reply was moral culture.
Yeah.
I wonder what you felt was the moral culture that you've experienced in Taekwondo yourself, the tenets,
Yeah, you know, for me, I think that's even more important at the moment. I think maybe also because you practice a longer Taekwondo, you became older as a human being. You're as a parent, you think different. Because I see now much more also the value of Taekwondo, not from sparring, but I mean what we want to learn our kids, our students when they come inside. And even last night, a parent, I told him it's much more important not that he kicks high, but his behavior to older people, to his other students. That he can, for example, that he speak with 2 words, what is here in the Netherlands not common anymore at school, but luckily enough in Taekwondo still yes.
Yeah.
And this values, if we can, of course, even if we have students only 2 or 3 times a week, an hour, but I think I try to keep going on with this, but I think that's also our duty.
Yeah.
To do that. And I see there at the moment the most value in what I teach.
Sure.
And yeah, but I must be honest, when I was younger, I was not really thinking of these things.
Not as a young person, not so much. Yeah.
No, I heard the word and I say the oath and all these kind of things, but it was not really coming inside there. There's, I think, that time also nobody explained it. Now, for example, I think I explain also why it is important to know the person, to have respect and this kind of things. And I think that's maybe also the difference. That was also with the general. Doesn't matter what he say, it was always right.
Yeah.
There was also nearly nobody who has the balls to ask a question.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what he say was right. And these days now also people, when you go now to an IFC, you can ask what you want and you get an answer, and a normal answer.
Yeah.
And even if they don't know, they will tell it. But I mean, you don't have to be afraid.
Yes, yes.
Now, I know when you was with the general, you was afraid sometimes to ask a question, to ask a stupid question.
Yeah, I experienced that.
And I mean, but I think the moral culture also, I think this is one of the benefits and maybe one of the most important points what we have in ITF, to bring that forward and to tell it to our students. Yeah,
definitely. I appreciate that, sir. Yeah, 100%. And so thank you so much for sharing with me today and all the listeners and people watching. It's been a fantastic interview. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I have to say, I have experienced your teaching firsthand. It must be 20 plus years ago. I went to a seminar that you ran in England. It was about 3 hours. I was much younger, much fitter, really into my sparring. Had a fantastic time. I remember you, it was just when the 360 turning kick was being seen. I remember you showing us how to do it, and we had a great time. I have to say, it's probably the hardest I've ever worked in a seminar, but it was all very positive and thoroughly enjoyed it. But
do you know, sometimes I go to an album and I see all the pictures, and then I think, oh yeah, I also there, yes, there was it. And then still a lot of memories coming back.
Yes.
As I said, I also always look with a lot of yeah, how am I say? I still love it, and every day when I can teach, I mean, I pray the day that every day I wake up, start to think on Taekwondo, and go in the evening back home, go to sleep, and think also on Taekwondo.
Wow. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it comes through. You know, as I say, I can see you on Facebook. I see the posts. I love watching the drills. I'm sharing them with my team. So yeah, I really appreciate all the work you've done in Taekwondo. You know, it's been a benefit for everyone. I'm experiencing the students.
Yeah, and because I think that's also in these days, for example, the post what I do, for example, that's also because you're in the years ago, maybe you was thinking you have to hide things, but at these days, everybody can see everything, and it is better to share your knowledge with other people, to raise the level from everybody, because everybody will become better.
Yeah.
Instead of to try to hide things. So that's also I like when I post things, and I see that people look to it, and maybe sometimes people do the same drills, and I mean it's only a compliment. And I mean I do the same when I see a good thing. When for example Oleg Soloway, when they do something that I go, I like that.
Yeah.
I come to the gym in the evening. Okay, I saw then, and I tell also. I tell to them. I saw this drill from Oleg. We're gonna do it also.
Yeah.
And I mean, yes.
Yeah, that's true. So I mean, I say that these aren't mine. These are what I've seen from Grandmaster.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's brilliant. It's fantastic. So, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's been very nice spending some time with you. I greatly appreciate it.
Same from my side.
Yeah, it's been great hearing about all the stories and the experiences you had. There may be more that you haven't been able to share this time, maybe another time.
Yeah.
And
do you know this? There was much more to tell, but I did also one other podcast, and then also the time flies. It was like, oh shit, it is already over.
Yeah, of course.
But that's the same. Like sometimes we had, I think 2 weeks ago, we were together with Master Coach van der Heuvel and another instructor, Hans Joosten. We in the beginning we built the club with 3 of us.
Yes.
And we had a 40 anniversary 2 weeks ago.
Really? Yeah.
So we had a dinner that evening, and you start to talk, and before you know, the evening is gone.
Yes, that's how it is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, it was good.